Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Wrapping up a big week here on the show. Had some good guests and got a good show lined up today, so we appreciate your viewership. Let's get started with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and hard-working crew, taking care of everyday comfort needs. We've got a sort of unique numbers today. The high air temperature is 88 degrees. The high water temperature is 88 degrees. So that's don't happen very often. The low is going to be 76. So we're looking at this wind's been something else this week, coming out of the east and south, and it's been really strong, but should be fairly normal today. We're looking at the, like I said, the water temperature brought to us by Alco Electric. And like I say, 88 degrees, been pretty steady all week. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We're looking at the Apalachicola been steady now. It's dropped out a little bit. It's dropped down to 7.4 and steady. And the Chartesi Carabelle, it's right now at a 4.2. It's going up a little bit. Got some of that rain this afternoon, and it's going up a little bit. So it should be rising for the weekend. So you're going to have some rising water. Take a look at our tide chart, brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. High tide right in the middle of the day, 11:55, and low tide tonight at 10:46. A perfect morning of incoming tide. If you like fishing incoming tide, you can fish it all morning. If you want to fish outgoing tide, you can fish it all afternoon. So it's going to be really strong. The wind is not that bad today. They're calling for south at about 5 to 10. So it'll be a good day to be on the water. Make sure you have some good protection and all if you get out there. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're always talking about so many things you can do in outdoors, or fishing and hunting and hiking and camping, and we always encourage outdoor photography, especially with the phone cameras like they are now, and the different people, different organizations have contests and all. So the Florida State Parks has had people send in pictures they're taking at a state park each year, and it's really cool. This is the 2024 winner. Check this out here. They have a pro division, okay, a pro division, and then a student division, and a mobile. I guess that's with the phone, or I guess that's the 3 division. But anyway, they're the winners. I don't know any, but one of them's at Macaya State River State Park, and then Payne's Prairie, right outside of Gainesville, and Rainbow Springs. So they're getting ready to start the 2025 launch date. So, okay, let me see. Let me get over. I took the pictures. I sort of blew them up. And here's this one right here. That's almost, look at the reflection on the water. Is that not beautiful? Okay, that's, okay. She had a clarity. Boy, I laughed at this last night. He's holding on two different reeds and got a balancing act there. Is that not a classic? A great picture there. And then the, let me see, this one here is the springs. Is that not old Florida, the springs right there? You look at this, could be 200 years ago or last weekend. Or the kayak, it wouldn't be 200 years ago, I don't guess. Okay, so anyway, we'll stay up with that. Okay, speaking of good pictures, how about one from Port St. Joe? My buddy Boyd Pickett, Maggie Cove. Our babies have hatched out. Is that not cool? Look at all those martins. Look at all of them coming out. Wow. Good job, Boyd. Y'all did well on that. Let's jump over to Choctahatchee River. James Singletary, his wife Tammy, she said, just take me to the river. And look at that big old redfish. And you know, we're talking about redfish. They get up in the rivers now, in the mouth of the rivers. Good job. That's a good fishing team, husband and wife there. This was cool. Grandma's house didn't need Wi-Fi. It had pancakes, pork swings, and peace. And a lot to be said about that. I was looking, I ran across this. I copied it. I wanted to show because I'm always talking about planting trees and all, and the chestnut tree a lot of times gets overlooked. Acres of we have all kind of acorns and all, but from oak trees. But they said one of the finest ones is a chestnut, just for the deer. I'm sorry, right there. They love that food there. and you can plant them anywhere. Okay. And you see some are natural in the area, some will have to be planted. So anyway, keep this in mind too, and we're about this. You trim the pond's edge. Now I have nowhere to hide. I need tall grasses to keep my babies safe. There's a lot, that's a little simple saying right there, but we talk, a lot of times, and I'm bad about it too, we want to clear cut everything, have that perfect lawn and all that. And so much as I've gotten older, so much of that I've realized that in a little brush pile over here on the edge of the yard, instead of picking it up, I said a lot of times I'll leave it. You have turtles going in and out of it, and different things. I'm not saying don't mow your yard, but leave a little bit of nature in there, natural habitat for little things. Of course, Gail, I have to keep it pretty clean because he don't like the snakes around. So, but anyway, on the side of my yard, I've got a good, nice stretch of woods. I know a lot of y'all do too. But now, if you live in a neighborhood, house after house, I understand you can't have bushes, big old piles of limbs and all. But anyway, it's important. Speaking of Grandma, let's go back to what Grandma said. Sometimes you have to hug the people you don't like so you know how big to dig the hole in your backyard. That's our humor for the day. Okay, Grandma didn't really say that. Mike McGraw sent this. We were talking about the water temperature. And, okay, I was just watching your show from this morning on water temperatures. We were 35 or so miles out yesterday, just a couple days ago. The water temperature was right around 88, basically the same as inshore. I was surprised we didn't hit cooler water. There's a lot to be said about that. On yesterday's show, we were talking to Kevin. He goes out far like that too, and everyone is saying that the water temperature is just a lot hotter this year, and it's been a trend toward that the last couple of summers where it's been hotter and hotter. And it's really interesting where when you go offshore, it's 35 miles and still 88 degrees. And when we went with Billy Archer a couple weeks ago, Billy and I talked about the same thing. He'll move around and find that current, but the most important thing he's looking for would be what? Structure, which is what Mexico Beach Artificial Reef Association was talking about and all the things they're doing, structure all over the place. And I meant to bring this up on yesterday's show. The combines, this is what the original structure was made out of, was car bodies, and then one of these peanut farmers would get rid of these combines. All the peanut fields, South Georgia was full of them, and they'd bring them down on barges, and that's where the original structures came from. And I heard so many cool stories about it. So anyway, like I say, all that structure helps. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'm glad you're with us this morning. I'm just checking. I get messages a good bit, but I appreciate the messages. Sometimes I can't answer them right away. If you've sent me a message or something, or a phone message, and I have not answered it, please send it again. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with them, but I really enjoy the input from them. Okay, speaking of messages right here, we were talking about early part of the week. I showed the picture, actual picture. It was an email where one of our viewers was out over waist deep, and he said a 6-foot gar swam up to him off Beach Drive. And I said, if you got some feedback on that. Actually, my buddy Bob Thomas, who lives up there in North Georgia and watches the show on YouTube, he sent me this message afterwards. He said he might have seen a sawfish, sometimes called a sawfish shark. I've seen several in the bay. It could be easily mistaken for a gar. Several years back, we caught a six-footer in my gill net off Davis Beach. Needless to say, it took a lot of repair work to fix that net back. And so this is that's probably what it was. And the sawfish, they have a body slim like that. And I don't have time to have a book out. I need to tell y'all the story again about the sawfish being caught after World War II by that group of guys. But that was caught in the bay. It's a great story. Okay, let's move on. Talking about getting great feedback. Remember when I had the boys on a couple days ago, headed to Auburn and different places, and I right after I got this text right here from a viewer. Good morning. In this day of total craziness, it is so refreshing to know I can turn on your show and see such fine young men. Make me hopeful makes me hopeful for our future. Thank you for all you do. Phyllis Brookins. Phyllis works at Commander Realty. Known Phyllis a good while, and I showed her, Phyllis, you just made my day. And that really did. You know, when we do something like that and we get everything positive and seeing all the good things that happen with young people and outdoors and all this, you know, that's a lot of good information there. Thank you, Phyllis. I appreciate that. Okay, moving on. Let me see. I'm gonna get on past this. Okay, I'm gonna do a case of the month, but it's not local. But I just thought it was okay. This guy's spear diving within 100 yards of a public beach. This is off Pompano Beach. So they got the spear gun from him. Okay, but what was bad, he'd harvested over 100-pound Goliath grouper. See the spear gun he had? That's a no-no. Of course, first of all, they're protected, and then you can't do that within 100 yards of shore. And there's the 3 officers. I don't have their name, but look at that big old Goliath grouper. And see, they get up 250, 300 pounds. That's like a baby juvenile one. He could have grown real well. All right, jump over to freshwater. I show these pictures weekly from the Choctawhatchee River. They're just catching a lot of brim over there this summer. Okay, Donna and this Eddie, and we caught 48 yesterday morning before it got too hot. And that's a good mess of fish right there. And that also brings up something too, before it gets too hot. That's really, it's so important we talk about it. Go fishing early. Go fishing early, and by 10 o'clock or 10:30, 11, it's getting too hot. So call it a day. I know we used to try to fish all day long, and we were younger and dumber, but now get a couple of good strong hours in the morning and move around a little bit, but when it gets hot, get on out of there. Get back to the house and eat a bologna sandwich and can of Viennas or something, or back to the landing. Okay. Okay, I've shown that one. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one here. This is for Jason Keep sent this to me. I had family down for some fishing. Skylar and Raymond did a nice job. Okay, here's the pictures here. That's cool when you get that's not a huge number of fish, but that's what you call a good mess of fish right there. That's some good eating. All right. Okay, I've showed that one. Okay. I have Donnie Messer, had him in class many years ago. Short trip to South Florida. He left after church this past Sunday, and look at those fish. I mean, he had a great time. He had a little video of it. We talk about those all the time, catching those. And he had this video here, and I don't have it set up, so we'll move on. The IGFA, International Game and Fish Association. 18 years ago, Marion Rose set off Pecan Island, Louisiana. He was going looking for some big tuna on the oil rigs, and tuna fishing was slow, and what did he catch? He dropped down a live Spanish sardine, and after a 45-minute fight, reeled in the all-tackle Cubero snapper, 124 pounds and 12 ounces. Is that not a huge one? And that's still the record. And if I could find, Gail and I made a trip to Miami when I started doing the show. I've been a couple of years into it. We had some other things to do too, and we went to the International Fish and Game Association Museum where they had all of the different records mounted and replicas of them. They had the stores, booth after booth. Fascinating area. It wasn't in town, it's sort of north of town there. In an area that's really, really nice, and I've got, if I could find a video, I'd like to show that again because it was just, I was just in awe of all the different sizes of records of all of the fish across the world, and then Florida records too. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's Braden Harris and Jake Gay. They had a good day of fishing. Look at there. This was this week. Nice redfish there, Braden. And Jake right here, graduated from Bozeman. That's a big trout. They caught a bunch of nice trout. I'm gonna talk about during the fishing report, having a nice trout been caught. Evan Zackrell, he's been on, I've had his show, since he was a kid, I've shown his fish. He had a G. Loomis rod and a tidal chart. And he's learned how to fish the tides, and there's wade fishing right there. Good job, Evan. Okay, I got some more pictures, but I think that's it. Let me show one more because this is important. I want to talk about this. A group of folks have gotten together, a Summer Nights Youth Bass Series. It's going to be at High Point Landing at Deer Point Lake. And we know where that is. It's going to be held on Thursday nights at 6 to 8:30. And here, there's going to be like 4 or 5 times this summer. You see the dates right there, okay? And a little entry fee and 100% payback, the first 4 places in 3 divisions, 13 and under, then a high school, and then a college. And this is so good. If you have kids or no kids, take them fishing. Let's be safe, have fun, and see you on the water. So you can find them. You go on Facebook and find them. Travis Page and Chris Daniels, and it's just it's open up to anybody. Okay, so go online. Summer Nights Youth Bass Series. Okay, good job, guys, and ladies. There's a lot of ladies behind that too. All right, moving on. Let's get our drawing. Okay, let's get some good fried mutton from Gene's Oyster Bar. Ronnie Fowler in the group. All right, all the way from Alpha. How about Bill Jones? Okay. All right, let's go to run down to Tarpon Dock and get a $20 gift certificate of whatever you want to get from Lynn Haven. Caught your pleasure. Mike, you be sure and let her pick what she wants. All right, and let's go. Now let's get the big red snapper. I see them on church a lot. All right, here we go from Springfield, Adam McCutcheon, Alpha, Lynn Haven, and Springfield are the winners this morning. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back. Welcome to the famous Friday fishing forecast brought to us by Jessica Ling, Insurance and Financial. And I get tickled because I just keep all the reports and all. In case I missed one, I just go back and pick up another report. But they're all the old school handwritten and everything. But I do spend time putting it together. I enjoy doing it. And I didn't get to show the picture of some good catches at the jetties. This time of year, the jetties and both our base systems over in Destin and over here are good fishing. And check this out. Let's go our first stop right here. Let's go into the jetties. Okay, and this was actually drug out in 1932, and you can see, here's the rocks right here. And when I used to fish off these a bunch, and I always try to figure out, which is better, fishing down over there to the right, or over here to the left, and right now it's a lot easier because you can get out there. But really and truly, this area right in here, where they're first coming in and out, it can be rough. And you got to be strong with a strong rod, and you really need help when you catch something. You really need help getting them in. But at the same time, this hole right in here, a lot of boats go right in here in the center of the screen. A good place to catch redfish. They don't really stay out in the middle of the channel. They'll get on the edge of the channel there, and then over here you don't get to. It's not quite as active over here. One reason because a lot of boats and all, but this area right here, coming back this way, some really good pompano fishing when they're running. They're about finished the run now, but just that area, that's ground zero for a lot of different things because you stop and look at it, everything's coming in and out. Of course, the Bay Point Billfish Tournament is coming in right now, and I don't really. I used to get out there in the early days. I used to cover that, but it's pretty well covered by the other media. And it's really a big deal. They do a good job with it. And again, but you don't want to go this weekend, it's so crowded. But back in the day, I used to catch a lot of flounder right under that bridge there at Captain Anderson's. That used to be one of my favorite spots, believe it or not. You could walk in there and fish under the bridge. Okay, let's move on. I wrote down surf fishing. Okay, let me see what all I wrote down. Surf fishing has been really good for a lot of skipjack out there now. And they're fun. They've got a poor man's tarpon, but they'll jump. And you put a kid on the end of a rod and reel catching a skipjack, and they're tickled, especially when they see them jump. So that's been good. The trout bite, again, you saw a picture of Brandon and Jake. There's some really big trout. These guys that are going out every day are catching some big trout. A lot of guys are catching them. Over in Choctawhatchee Bay, They're catching. They're still trolling. A group of them are still trolling for Spanish mackerel on occasion, and they troll with a Clark spoon or the Spanish mackerel tree, and catching some Spanish over there, and catching redfish with cut mullet. Okay, cut mullet. Again, the popping cork. We'll talk about that a lot. The popping cork has been really strong. You put shrimp under it, cut bait, live shrimp, anything, but wade fishing is good right now. And on the Choctaw River, you've seen the picture of the brim. Look at all the brim they've been catching. And the mullet, again, J.B. Miller's been still catching them on that gold hook. I think I say that every Friday, but that's been strong. Of course, red snapper, that's the go-to money fish. Everybody's catching red snapper. And all kind, even in the tournaments, they're catching. We talked about that last Friday. So red snapper is still biting strong. Catching some wahoo, not a bunch, and a king bite. This is the time of year getting some nice kings. We'll talk about that early part of the week. Also on the popping cork, I couldn't help but think last night I was putting this together. Raised speck rig. That's truly a popping cork back in the early days. Just had a little float right there and had a little white jig. So learn how to fish a popping cork. I'm gonna use it more this summer myself. In fact, this weekend and some next week, I'm gonna set up my popping cork rig and try to do something. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna put on it. It might be live bait. It might be just some cut shrimp, or I may just put a little jig under it. But anyway, we're gonna try that. So anyway, it should be a good weekend of fishing. The wind's been good. I didn't show a lot of different places to go, but we usually talk about that. Again, the bridge fishing, pier fishing, always going to be good. But the jetties have been good this week as far as catching some nice fish. And be careful if you're on the rocks. Going to wrap it up for the week. Got a big week planned next week. In a couple of days, a special guest, husband and wife coming in, and they've actually been on a safari. You're not going to believe that. Wrap it up. Thank y'all so much for watching the show. Do something good for someone else. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.